and welcome back to Yoga with You in Mind. From here, this video, I'm going to show you how to open up your lower back in a fold. Now this is the very first of the folds, of the fold poses, and so if you are ready to do a forward fold, the main thing to really check for in your back is that it opens a little easier. And now if you've been practicing, you'll know what I mean. So that if you've been practicing, you'll see that as you've been doing these light stretches, you can feel where the muscle slowly lets go and allows itself to open up a bit more. You can feel that sensation happening through your body as you stretch. And at this point, if you want to be doing any forward folds, you want to be confident that that opening in your lower back is going to happen smoothly, because if it's going to happen in short sharp bursts, it's going to hurt you the whole time. You know, you want to be with the opening up of your back, and in any posture it's going to be soreness where we've stretched, but unless your body's actually ready to, then it's going to be more than soreness. It's going to be a banging, pounding, constant pain. So just make sure you're ready. But if you are ready, I'm happy to have you here with me today to join me for our very first forward fold pose. Now, for this pose, you don't need anything underneath your bottom because it is all about lengthening a different way. So, right. Yeah, that's a bit better on my face. I was getting a lot of shadow on my face before. Okay, so this is where we're going to be. This is where we're going to start. Now, make sure that your butt cheeks are out of the way if you need to do that, to stabilize yourself so that you're completely on your sit bones. And check that your back is fine to be able to do this away from the wall. So if you're fine to be able to hold yourself up just like this, remember to not let yourself slouch and roll outward. You know, you want to be up and nice and tall so that we're constantly opening up the back. We're opening and lengthening. Now, if you're not quite at that place where you can let your knees fall to the floor, that's fine. You can have a pillow underneath. So you want to start in a forward fold, bending your legs anyway. You know, if you've never done them before, this is where you want to start. With your feet, you want to make sure that they're together, so that your legs are together and you're not going out in different directions. Now from here, if you take your pillow and slide it underneath your knees, and just let that be comfortable, so you can let yourself just sink into that. Keep your heels together, and you want to keep your feet flexed. Now for some of you, this might just be enough for you, just sitting here and opening up the belly. You want to draw the belly inward, so that just a little, so that you've got room to go down. You know, it doesn't matter, to be honest, if you've got a bigger belly, because if you're allowing yourself to relax, if you're breathing and allowing yourself to soften, it's not going to be uncomfortable. It's when we let go of ourselves that we can really go deeper into these postures. So from here, keeping your feet flexed, the pillow underneath you, we're going to start to draw ourselves forward. You want to bring yourself up nice and tall. Take a nice refreshing breath in and bring your arms up to the sky. Now this might feel a little bit awkward, you might feel a little unbalanced. It's okay, you'll find it. And when you do, bring your arms down to your heart and then release them in front of you. So we're going to start to come towards the chest now. When we're actually folding this way, we're not folding from the back, we're folding from the hips. For a lot of guys, this is going to be a really weird concept for you, because men's hips are so stiff and ramrod straight, whereas women, we know how they can move independently. So this is going to be a bit weird for you. But tuck in your tummy and then lean forward with your back straight. So you don't want to be rounding and coming like this, because that's just going to really hurt. You're up nice and tall and lean forward. So you want to hold on to your legs here. You're letting your elbows drop, letting your shoulders drop, and you can also pull yourself forward if you feel ready to, if your spine's starting to open. So if you're feeling ready to pull forward, you want to bring your hands into this clawed position and bring it onto the floor in front of me, in front of you. So you might just be here, you know, but you want to come to where you can go, to where your back can let you go. Tuck your tummy, pull from the hip, push from the hips, keep your back straight, and just fold over your knees. Now we're going to stay here for a while, and the reason is because I'll show you that gravity has a way, when we stay in these poses, of doing the rest of the work for us. So you want to check that your back's okay, and just let yourself fall. See, once you're at that point when your belly and your hips have pushed as far as they can go, so you can see with mine, they've pushed as far as they can go, then you can allow your back to soften, and you can allow your shoulders to round just a little. As long as you're not pushing downwards with your head and you're just relaxing, then it's fine, as long as you're not making strain. Now you want to reach for your ankles, the sides of your feet, and eventually you'll be able to get to your toes and pull yourself down. But otherwise, just stay here and just let yourself fall closer towards your knees. If you are starting to feel any discomfort in your belly, come out, stretch it out, and try again when you feel better. This is a very good pose, forward fold, to actually stimulate oxygen through your organs and give you a nice little bit of a cleanse. If you feel a little bit sick or nauseous after doing this pose, then I can tell you why, and it's because being in folds has a way of pushing unwanted substances out of our bodies, you know, oils and fats and nicotine. It has a way of shifting things around. Yoga in itself does that tremendously, but folds will activate it from your gut. So if you are feeling a little bit nauseous, that's why. Deep breath in, and let yourself go deeper. Lovely. Now from here we're going to go a little deeper. So what we're going to do, we're going to take the pillow away. Just give yourself a little shake, make sure that your legs are fine, make sure your back's fine. But we'll take the pillow away, keeping your knees bent. You can bring your arms underneath your knees. So this is going to prevent any hyperflexion in the backs of the knees. If you ever get hyperflexion in the back of your knees, I don't even know if people recover from it. So, because it's like near enough like breaking the strings behind your knees. So always take it slow. The wonderful thing is that once you achieve the flexibility that's really where you're really bouncy, you know, the possibility of hyperextension gets so diminished. You know, the chances of you doing that to your body just gets less and less and less the more we do this. So you're not. You're rounded a little bit in the shoulders, but your back is straight. That's what's the main thing. You're not pushing into your belly, and you're not forcing yourself to go down. You're letting gravity take you. I'm just going to stay here for a couple more breaths. Just to show you how gravity takes you down. Bring yourself to rest on your knees if you're there. And for a lot of people, I recognise that this challenge of keeping your legs straight together can be quite hard, because your knees have locked up to the point that they want to bend outwards. So I appreciate that keeping them together and keeping that control over your muscle is not an easy, it's an added challenge to these poses, you know. So if you're doing it, well done you. You know, I know it's not easy. You know, eventually, not even eventually, quite soon to be honest, you'll find that when you practice this regularly, you don't have to try to do it anymore. So that keeping your legs together, so that your heels touch and your feet touch and your knees touch, it just happens naturally. You don't have to try anymore. But then you find other poses that are really challenging to do. So those are other days. Lovely. And I trust that you've been letting yourself breathe gently and letting yourself come towards your knees gently. Now, if you're going to come back up, and this time we are going to straighten the legs. So we're not going to commit ourselves to making any hyperextensions. Just come up slow and readjust yourself if you need to, you know. Roll your shoulders back, roll your neck. There we go. And from here, we're going to do another forward fold. So if you're ready to try and take your flexibility in your lower back a little further, this is where this will happen. If you've been quite happy where you are, stay there. And also remember that because of the intenseness of the stretching of our bodies, and when we do this, we don't always anticipate the amount of soreness that we then feel in the next couple of days. So just be wary of that. So if you're attempting to do all of these videos, just let yourself have breaks so that you can check and allow the muscle to get to recover, to tell you where it's at. So don't push yourself too far. Now from here, you can practice the extension of your arms again, so that you're also raising up your posture and helping take the weight off your spine. Bring your belly in and push your knees into the bed. Now don't push too hard, because it's a mattress, so we don't need to really to get there. But it's more about the flexion in your feet and the stretch in your hamstrings all the way up to your hips. Release off your arms nice and gently. And then from here we're going to fold, we're going to bring the knees up again, but we're going to gradually lower them. So keeping your heels together, keeping your knees together, finding comfortability in your belly and your hips. Raise your head up. You're nice and tall. Bring your shoulders back and drop them away from the ears. And your arms up. Try and keep them as straight as you can. If not, that's the goal. Come forward and fold from the hips again into your belly. From your belly into your legs. And this might just be where you are, and you can stay there. If you want to take it a little bit further, with each inhale, move your feet a little further away from you. And on your exhale, fold into it. And it's very important, so that in your inhale, you're lengthening, and on the exhale, you're lengthening and improving the flexibility in your hips. And keep moving your arms so that eventually you're lengthening the whole body, even just sitting. Breathe in. And start to feel the sensation of where your body's letting go. Feel, is it in the backs of your legs? Is it stretching? Is it pulling? Is it opening? You know, what is it doing and how is it doing it? Are you comfortable with it? Breathe in, and then we're going down a little bit more. So at this point, my knees are still bent. I know it's black, so you can't really see my arm there, but they're still a little bent. And I'm coming closer and closer towards my knees. Breathe in. See, from here, my feet are flexed and I'm fully folded over my bed, over my knees. So it doesn't take too much. It just takes a little bit of patience. And you will get there. It may feel a little bit strange, feeling your muscles and your tendons open this way. It is so beneficial. Deep breath in. Really flex those heels, allow that stretch to just have one more extension. And then come up, point your toes so that you give your front of your legs a bit of a stretch out. Shake your arms, shake your torso, and then just feel your back. Notice if there's anywhere that's not feeling right, or if it feels a little bit too sore, just find out. And before I end this video, just to soften out the back after the fold that we've done, I'm just going to counter it with it's just laying on your back and releasing it off. So if you're ready to relax off what you've just done, very gently, using one vertebra at a time, come all the way down onto the surface of your mattress. Bring your knees in. Now if you're up here, remember just to stay there. The goal is to bring your knees closer towards your body. You know, just hold your knees here so your toes, your big toes are touching. That's all you want to do. Just lay here for a second. Take a deep breath in, and then on your exhale, let your shoulders drop into the floor. Just hold on to your knees. And then rock side to side. Nice and slow. Don't want anybody falling out of bed. Nice and slow. Side to side. Just to release off the spine, release off the lumbar spine. You've given it a nice, decent, lengthening stretch today. And it just wants to be comforted. Now, we're also going to release off your hips, just because it adds it. It's all connected. So what you want to do is bring your knees apart, as wide as you can, that's comfortable for you. And just make circles with your knees, bringing them towards each other and then away from each other. So you're getting that nice release off in your hips. These are the sort of these particular poses where you lay in the bed and you roll your knees from one side to the other. They're really important to do after you've done any stretches that have made you feel a little bit sore, because they're just going to release off any extra tension you feel. It's just going to allow you to breathe it off. Bring your knees in. Bring your head to your knees if you can, so that you're curled up in a little ball. Otherwise, don't strain yourself, just let yourself get there gradually. There we go. And we're just going to stretch out the legs quickly as well. Just a quick, if you can't get there to stretch your legs straight out, to be fair, then all you want to do, when you haven't got a short bed like I do, is just stretch them out onto your bed and just let yourself relax. You've done a lot of work for your back and for opening like everywhere, so let yourself take those minutes that you need just to reward yourself for what you've done. And one of the beautiful things that yoga teaches you is that unless you actually rest off what you've done, you won't have actually done anything good for yourself. You're just have added damage. So give yourself this moment to relax. It's wonderful, wonderful extra bedtime. Lovely. So that was your seated forward fold. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope that you've been able to open appropriately to the limits and to the strengths of your own body. Thank you very much for being with me here. I look forward to seeing you in phase 5. Namaste.